Hello, y'all. Let's do a reading, shall we? It is a cloudy morning here, and I have the candle going. I want to do a reading regarding something that I've been pulling in offline readings lately, and that has been this hypercharged level of protection that is sort of shielding a lot of us. And for many that I've pulled readings for, it feels like it's for the greater good, number one, that it's for them, number two, but it's sort of protective to provide a place of healing, kind of like a Band-Aid, but in a bigger, more it's hard to put my words to it because I don't really have words for it, but there's this level of protection that is allowing it's where people should be, right? So if someone needs space, or if someone that you know isn't talking to you, keep in mind this is what's happening right now, sort of on a global level. There are people who are being protected in order to heal and to move and grow. Well, not move so much, but stay stagnant, grow, and have this catalyst moment and chrysalis moment. That's really what it is all about, right? It's this butterfly moment. Now, that being said, it's greater or lesser for many of us. So, let's say that I'm protected. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to get into trouble for bad things that I do, right? It doesn't mean that I'm not vulnerable to some things. And it doesn't mean that when I step out of this protection, I'm going to be, X 10, 10X. It doesn't mean I'm going to be that much of a better person. But the potential is there. So what I want to, long story longer, what I want to do is, thank God for shorts. What I want to do is I want to pull this reading on specifically what you can do to amplify and make the best use of this protective period. Okay? And I'm sorry for the dog drinking, but a dog's got to drink. At some point, I will get the mics that are like ambient sound reduction, okay? All right, you guys. So again, we're in this energy, and let's make the best of it. Let's make the most of it. And that's what this reading is all about. What can we do to amplify this protection and come out on the other side being better people, or even keep that protective energy going? That's the real goal. Keep that protective energy going. If you ever know people, listen, hold on. You ever know people who just like do so much shit? Like they just are constantly doing just terrible things, just absolutely awful things. And they never get in trouble for it. Like maybe they'll get a little slap on the wrist here or there. Or maybe they'll spend one night in jail. And you're like, how in the world did they get away with it? And like from that wonderful movie that I love with Meg Ryan, where she and where she goes to Paris. I forget the name of the movie because it's early. But that movie with Meg Ryan, she smokes marijuana one time and she goes to jail. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like we have this amplified level of protection. That doesn't mean that, we can all get away with everything, but it's not for getting away with everything. That's my point. This level of protection is not to be used for that. You know what I mean? Okay, let's do the fucking reading. All right, y'all. So the bottom card is the Four of Swords. Okay. I was very specific when I asked the universe what we could do to elevate and continue this level of protection. So take what resonates with you. 8 of Cups. King of Swords. 7 of Cups. And the 7 of Wands. Well, we're going to pull a 5th, and it's the reverse death card. I have no idea how it got reversed in this deck because, well, I have no idea. I don't shuffle like that, so, but that's the way it is. All right, so, and it doesn't mean that you're immune to death, by the way, a reverse death card. Listen, so, it's not, what I asked for the universe is not an easy task. Like, to increase this level of protection on yourself, to enhance it and to continue it forever. Basically, the universe is saying you have to dive deep into the wounds and trauma that you have experienced over the last few years, maybe lifetime, maybe don't get too woohoo on me, but maybe past lifetimes. And you really have to examine that in order to make the most of this energy. It's deeper than I thought it was. So rather than sort of this protective thing in the 3D world, it's actually a protection that goes beyond that. It's protection and healing and protection in, you know how when you're dealing with stuff, whether you're at a professional like psychiatrist's office or whether you're talking to a friend sometimes, when you're maybe venting or when you're, sort of pouring out your heart to someone about situations that you've experienced that have caused you pain, sometimes it can really hurt to relive that experience. What the universe is saying is that in this energy, you won't feel as much of a post-traumatic stress like ripple from reliving those experiences, from talking them out and having a dialogue or an internal sort of calculation about your past. You won't experience those types of ripples and those types of reliving of the trauma that you've been through. I hope that makes sense. If it resonates, it resonates. So it's not just protection in the 3D. It's not just protection here, protection from, things that could happen around you at your job or with other people. But it is that too. It's actually protection on a deeper level to allow you to go through a healing journey. This is the type of energy where you could go into a very dark night of the soul, examining things that you've kept in those, where's my deck? Examining the 4 of Swords, examining the delusions and the lies that you've told yourself, really pulling out the truth and the authenticity of your experience, really pulling it out, and really, in a way, sometimes that destroys ego, in a good way. Like, ego is good, but it depends on how you feed it. So when we peel off that deception and those layers of falseness, that's what happens when we go through this dark night of the soul. And it's almost like this protective energy is allowing you to go through that process with as little collateral damage as possible. It's amazing, really. And let's pull some more on it. Let's figure out a little bit more about it. I want to get some more information for you, more specifics. Believe it or not, I want to use the Santa Muerte deck. I love it, and I love the creator of it. He just came out with a new tarot deck, by the way. And that we'll be using soon. Wow. I think you have, everyone has now, if you're watching this and this is resonating, you have like a hypercharged ability to discern. And you'll know what I mean. If that makes sense, you'll absolutely know what I mean. But this hypercharged ability to discern, especially between what's good for you and what's not good for you, and what's good for your future and what's not. It's a really good time to make your resolutions for next year. If you wait till January, and this, in January, I like to do an audit. In January, I like to do an audit of the last year so I can really get pen to paper and see, for better or for worse, what has happened and what I want to change and do differently. But it's more of a, it's an audit, and it's a look back. Right now is a great time to look forward and make those intentions and start putting into action your resolutions. So the energy is great for this because you're protected from that collateral damage that I was talking about in terms of reliving experiences based on new choices that you're making and how they relate to the old. And then your discernment is really high. So you're going to be able to make choices towards the goal of becoming a better, more self-educated, more, internalized, self-aware person now than you would in January. So make your resolutions now, like your New Year's resolutions, and go ahead and implement them now, because you're going to have the most effect if you do that now. Whew, 8 of Cups. This is a lot of energy, but I wish you all could feel it right now, because it feels amazing. It's like being in a cloud a little bit, like being in a golden weighted cloud, and there's so much of it, but it's very light and reassuring. It's amazing. Okay. So we've got the Knight of Swords as the bottom card for the 8 of Cups. Yeah. And I've got to make sure that these are, I had the deck upside down. So we've got the 8 of Pentacles. We've got the Lovers. That would make sense at the 8 of Cups, right? And you've got the 8 of Wands. Yeah, there's the movement in the love connection that you have is under cover in this big cloud. And it is external. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with you, but it has nothing to do with your actions. This is all within the energy. How you heal, though, how you take advantage of this time is going to affect your future relationships. Remember how I said this is a dark night of the soul without the collateral damage. So you can have your moments of reflection, introspection, and audit of the past without feeling horrible, you can really look at it objectively and say, well, this is how I'm going to change. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do what's best for me, or I'm going to do what's best for this other person, or realizing I really, really want this person, but I was the one to fuck it up. So this is what I'm going to do. Those options are all available to you, but you're going to be able to discern them. Okay. let's do the Knight of Swords. I think I've harped on that piece enough, so I want to give you some more information. I am definitely drawn to this female figure in the palm of the King of Swords. This is not a typical depiction of the King of Swords. Again, I'm getting that protective energy, almost like that King of Swords with the sword. And that's us, that's you, right? I don't know if it's the coffee or the energy, but my heart is racing. Okay. Oh, we got the cards upside down again. So this is the Page of Swords underneath. Sorry, I'm really focused on the card and I'm not paying attention to the video, so I really apologize for that. Justice. The Nine of Cups, and that is definitely upside down, the Queen of Swords. Okay. Yeah, interesting. So I'm getting this, oh, wow. So, sorry, it's wild. Because what's happening is, this protection sort of also extends past your persona and your mask in society. This protection sort of blurs the image other people might have of you. What do I mean by that? Well, you know how maybe sometimes you have to fake confidence? Maybe your insecurities are kind of strong one day and you really have to like put your chest out and your shoulders back and really fake confidence in order to come across as the confident and powerful, maybe self-assured, maybe, knowledgeable. You have to really, there's some moments where you have to put this mask on, and sometimes it's easier than others, and you believe it. You tell yourself the same lie over and over again, and eventually you believe it, even though deep down you might have insecurity. It becomes easier and easier, right? Anyway, I digress. The point of this interesting pull with the Knight, or the King of Swords, is that the reverse Queen of Swords tells us you can drop your mask in this energy. You can absolutely drop your mask. This sort of shield you've put up of being one of the smartest people in the room or one of the most confident people in the room. It is so much less important right now than being authentic. Yeah. So that would be, it's not even advice. It's just like the universe is telling you, hey, you might want to experiment. You have the opportunity and the energy is there with you to experiment in dropping that ego, that external persona you put out in the world. That way, you might dress a certain way or do your hair a certain way or show up to work or to a date or to life with this preconceived and preset sort of persona. And I'm not saying it is a mask, but maybe it is for some of you. Without it, you're going to be received very well. is what this is. The protection energy goes far beyond what I originally thought, which is amazing. Wow. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If it, wow. If it resonates again. But understand you do have that freedom and flexibility to move past and drop your persona. People will love and appreciate you even more. Let me just say that. And they won't see you like, I think some of the risk that we see sometimes when we're like, oh, if I had to drop my persona, or this confident way that I carry myself through the world with the, expensive things and the hair done just right and the makeup and whatever it is, however you carry yourself through to get not just validated, but like to obtain some level of status that maybe you don't feel quite 100% worthy of. Sometimes we think that if we drop that, then people will not only judge us for who we are now, but they'll also judge us for creating a fake persona in the first place. Okay? Put that all aside, because in this energy, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's like you're just removing a filter. It's just like removing a filter from yourself, and you're actually more beautiful without it. And people recognize that, and they love it. And they don't even recognize it. Honestly, they don't even recognize it. They just love who you are now. And not once do they go, oh, they removed a filter. No. It's just all of a sudden, hey, I love this person. I didn't realize how much I love them. But look at that. They're pretty cool. That's what it's like. Ooh. Really had to pull that out. Okay, 7 of Cups. There is great discernment here, but there's no but. There's great discernment here. You have the opportunity to make great discernment. You can also get wrapped up in it too. That's the flip side of the coin. Is in that discernment, if you overthink, and if you see things very, very clearly, but there's options, and you're an overthinker, you're still going to mess it up. Like if you could see something was amazing, like something you've always wanted, or something that, oh man, so like, okay, well, let's see here. How do I do this? If you have a broken finger, and just stay with me. If you have a broken finger, don't swipe away. If you have a broken finger and you're looking for something to help you, and you see a variety of implements and stuff in front of you, you'll easily discern, rather than thinking about it and wondering about it. You'll easily discern that there is in front of you indeed a splint, okay, and some tape, okay. And then you'll also see hemorrhoid cream. And then you'll also see just a plain gauze pad. And then you'll also see an apple. And then you'll also see like a tetanus shot, okay? Obviously, the splint and the tape is a good idea until you get to the hospital, right? But you'll be able to see those things. The discernment is there. And if you overthink it, the energy is also there to really mess you up. You might think, oh my gosh, but if you overthink it, you'll go into this rabbit hole of, well, but I broke my finger on a rusty nail. Maybe I need the tetanus shot. And gauze always helps. Maybe I should use gauze too. And, just see what you see and move. So many 7s. Oh my goodness. Okay, 7 of Cups. Whew. That was a tough pull. 5 of Pentacles. Yeah. Yeah. See what you see. Move forward. There's a little. You guys. You guys. That happens every single day. And the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. So many sevens. Listen, there is definitely an element of this discernment, and the cards, the universe is very clear. There's a level of discernment that Rose hasn't shared with you yet that has to do with who you love, period, and what you are gifted in this energy is the ability to discern that. So if you've been wrapping your brain around something or someone because you really wanted to love them, or they said they loved you, or any myriad of combinations of situations of that, in this energy, you'll see people for who they are, and you'll also be able to discern your feelings for them. You say, oh, well, and it's going to be okay because you're underneath that protection. So you won't have guilt about it. You won't have shame about it. You won't have confusion about it. You won't say, oh my gosh, I really thought I loved that person. Now I have to question my entire life. No, you don't. You just, things are clearer now. You're able to discern, and you're protected in how you have that vision. So there is a certain element with this discernment that has to do with love, and you'll be able to see who you really love and who they really are too. So if they're an asshole, you'll finally be able to admit that to yourself, even if you had them on a pedestal before, even if you thought they were the smartest, most amazing person. If they have proven themselves an asshole over the last, let's say, months, years, whatever, you'll be able to see it. Finally, you'll be able to be at peace with it, actually, in this energy. Whew. And remember, we have the Five of Pentacles underneath. So don't mess yourself up. Don't overthink that. Realize, I mean, this is to help you. This is going to be a long reading, but this is to help you amplify this energy, to use it for your best good. And what I'm saying is that you're going to see some things in this energy that that sort of might shake up your world if they were in any other energy, right? Finding out that someone's an asshole who you deeply, deeply loved might fuck you up in another energy. Here you're okay. And that's why it's important to go ahead and accept those lessons and those messages and that new knowledge in this energy, and then let it go. We've got a wonderful new moon coming up in Gemini, or not new moon, full moon coming up in Gemini, which I'm very excited about. I am definitely a moon girly, but for those of you who are, that light electric energy is going to make you very attractive. So on the other hand, you're very protected. You're very real about yourself. Use that for good. Seven of Wands. We have the Tower. Yeah. The Tower I'm getting, I feel like really that these two are kind of read together, but we have the 10 of Cups, and we have the 4 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords. Yeah, this, so many sevens. It brings a passionate energy. If you want it, you can tap into a passionate energy that's almost a vigilante for the truth. So this is a deeper level. This is a deep cut. And this is a message for those of you who are sort of on a totally elevated path into a spiritual journey. This energy, for those of you who are on this deep spiritual journey, allows you to passionately cut out and eliminate the masks, the lies, the mistruths about yourself. So the deeper we get, the more we sort of understand the layers of how our trauma and our family have informed not only how we look at ourselves, but how we treat ourselves, and then how we look at others and treat them, and then how we interact with the world in general. This energy allows you to pull back all of that really deep, really, really deep. There are obviously there are spiritual leaders out there, and the way that you know you get a good one is they still have a practice of scraping away that perspective that was informed by someone other than themselves. If that makes sense, if it resonates, Listen, if you're on it, I get excited about this, so I don't want to but there is energy here for you to get past even the deepest lies that you tell yourself. So if you are on a spiritual journey, know that you're protected in this. Know that you have an intrinsic power to pull back the lies and deception that you have been telling yourself. We know it's there. If you're on a journey, it's just a matter of revealing it and processing it, learning to create other habits and experiences in replacement of it. So I see you on that journey, some of you, and this is definitely the energy to do it. I feel like I did a shitty job of explaining that. I'm really, really sorry, but I'm sorry. That's all my weak little self can do. But if you are, you are. And just go, the only thing, and I think that maybe the universe will back me up here. The only thing I would not recommend in this energy is chemically enhanced spiritual journeys. I wouldn't recommend that at all right now in this energy. Now is the time to be, because I don't want to go on a whole rant, but you have to be really careful with that kind of thing, number one. And then number two, that's all I'm going to say about that. What I want to say is that it is the energy to be authentically, openly yourself, and that sort of chemically enhanced experience that we have is going to muck up the protection that exists in the energy right now. So just be you. Let me tell you a little side note. If you want to get into a spiritual realm, naturally, I want you to try to do some lucid dreaming. And I think there's a little bit of a confusion around what lucid dreaming is. Lucid dreaming, it is whatever it is, that you want it to be. But lucid dreaming, true lucid dreaming, isn't where you're awake and asleep at the same time. You're actually just coming in and out of REM sleep at that period. But what lucid dreaming is when you're in sleep, having a dream that you can actually direct, that you can actually influence, create, and direct. And it is absolutely amazing. It is sometimes easier to get in through meditation, where you fall asleep during meditation. But there's a couple of really good books on lucid dreaming and how to sort of set yourself up to practice it. And it's really cool. So if you want to experience that totally drug-free, then, you know, that spiritual level, then go ahead and maybe practice doing some lucid dreaming. And it's like riding a bike. Once you figure it out, you're going to have a really good time with it. Okay. I feel like we've gone way out of my comfort zone today. These are things that I have not talked about on this channel. And we've gone, I'm kind of living in this energy with you, and y'all are experiencing my authentic self, I guess. Not that you weren't always, but there's levels, right? Okay. I'm very antsy about this reverse death card. And the universe is throwing cards at me so that I won't be. So we've got the Emperor and we've got Strength. Yeah. Yeah, that's all she wrote, folks. They're within this moment in time where everything that I've talked about in the last 6 minutes exists. This little ego death that I've talked about opens up the opportunity for an ego rebuild that is so powerful, and there's so much internal resilience and reinforcement towards the goals and the dreams and the purpose, the authentic purpose. It's almost like through this process in which you're protected, in which you're not experiencing a lot of the collateral damage that we do when we go through these periods of ego death and through the struggle of identifying ourself in this world and this self-actualization. When you're going through that and you come out on the other side, the ability will be there to reimagine with such clarity your inner truth and purpose. And you'll be able to, if you take advantage of this energy, your love for yourself will be so magnified. Your love for yourself, your love for the people that you truly actually love, your love for your purpose, your passion behind your purpose and why you're on this earth, all of that will be here. And I'm not exaggerating at all. This is in the energy right now. And the death card reversed with the Emperor and Strength. Wow. Holy fucking shit. You could be, I think, like the way that you see power right now, or the way that you saw power in the past, the way that you saw power, confidence, like success, and the way that you saw your future before is completely different. If you use this energy right, is completely different than the way that you come out of it and the way that you then go forward into the world. It's so much better. It's so much more real. It's so much more possible. It's so much more powerful, but not in the way that you used to think about power. The power is within yourself. I think sometimes it gets conflated and we think that power is going to be in how we interact with other people, right? But you're going to realize the true power is within you and how you carry about yourself, and nothing how other people, nothing about other people is going to matter to that power. Okay. Wow. All right, so that was a super long reading, and if anybody has stayed through the whole thing, God bless you. And I think you're going to do amazing. Like and subscribe if you made it all the way to the end. And remember that every tarot reading, regardless of who, when, what, or why the reading was done, every tarot reading is influenced by both the reader and the time in which it was pulled. So there's no reading that happened in a vacuum. And yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. Blessings to you.